See, I never told you, Clay, but I've always admired you.
The final season of 13 Reasons Why just dropped on Netflix. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that it's one of the most intriguing shows that Netflix has come up with in recent memory. So intriguing that you just can't have enough. So in this video, we'll go through a list of everything you need to know about the most talked about Netflix hit of the year, 13 Reasons Why. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First on our list is the series is based on a novel that almost had a different title. It's no secret that 13 Reasons Why, at least the first season, is based on a J. Asher novel that has the same title. But did you know that Asher almost published his book under a different name? His working title was Baker's Dozen, the autobiography of Hannah Baker. Of course, a baker's dozen means there's 13 of something, like the 13 messages Hannah left to explain her demise. Second, Hannah Baker was originally supposed to survive. 10 years after he wrote the novel, J. Asher revealed that he originally wanted Hannah to survive. She still would have attempted to take her own life after leaving those pre-recorded tapes, but her parents would have gotten there in time to rush her to the hospital. It would have given Hannah's friends and schoolmates a chance to do better. But ultimately, the author decided that Hannah's death would send a clearer message that when you do hurt someone, more often than not, you won't get a chance to make it up. Makes sense, right? Third on our list was that the first season was well received. When it was announced that 13 Reasons Why will be adopted into a Netflix series, a lot of people were skeptical about it. They weren't sure the dark theme of the story would fare well when taken out of paper and translated into the screen. But the creators did such an amazing job that the season 1 ended up being a massive hit. Unfortunately, we can't say the same for the rest of the show, particularly the last season. Fourth, the reception turned more and more lukewarm with each passing season. Without an Asher novel to guide the rest of the show, people thought the series gradually lost its focus and diluted the strong message of season 1. Vulture, for instance, described its treatment of sensitive issues as extreme and nonsensical, turning 13 Reasons Why into an increasingly ghastly show in the process. A lot of people took offense at the fact that Justin literally goes from AIDS diagnosis to death in a matter of days. It was a beloved and well-anticipated arc of the show, but critics think the creator's treatment of the disease was unbelievably insulting. Number 5. There's never going to be a 5th season, but not for the reasons explained earlier. Creator Brian Yorkey does not think they overran the relevance of the story. In fact, the reason he's no longer batting for season 5 is because he thinks it's the perfect time to say goodbye to our beloved characters. Yorkey said he'd be very interested to see how some of the characters fare after high school, but he'd rather leave it all up to our imaginations. While avid fans are sad about this, critics are applauding the showrunner's decision. Sixth on our list is that color grading is an essential part of the storytelling. While other shows simply do color grading to make the final output more aesthetically pleasing, colors play an important role in 13 Reasons Why. Scenes that take place prior to Hannah's passing were deliberately made to have a warmer color palette, while events that occurred after her death were set up with a cooler tone. The yellow filter depicts brightness and vibrance, while the blue filter is used to communicate a sense of gloom over the narrative. Seventh, there's another way to tell if you're watching the past or the present. Think long and hard about why Dylan Minnette, aka Clay, keeps on getting his face beaten up, hit by a volleyball, slapped by a rock, and beaten up some more. They needed that never-healing scar to let you know that the scene you're seeing happened after Hannah was gone. And if you ever see Clay's forehead as smooth as a baby's butt, you'd know that Hannah was still alive. Eighth on our list is Mile Heiser's character may have been based on Kurt Cobain. Full disclosure, this is not confirmed, but the resemblance between Alex Standall's character and the real-life Kurt Cobain is uncanny. It's implied in the series that Alex shoots himself after periodically complaining about strange stomach pains. The rock star likewise suffered through similar undiagnosed tummy aches before taking his own life by shooting. Although some are dismissing this theory as ludicrous, it's not like the show has never referenced actual musicians in the story. For instance, Number 9 on our list is The Bleeding Man. Remember the second episode of the show when Hannah and Jake asked Alex about a new photograph hanging on the wall at the all-too-familiar coffee shop? Alex says, "It looks like a bleeding man." It's a little Easter egg for those who follow Dylan Minnette's real-life band, The Wallows. The group has an actual song entitled Bleeding Man. Number 10 is Katherine Langford faked the accent. In case you couldn't tell, Hannah Baker's American accent is completely fabricated. The actress is actually Australian-born. She bagged the role of Hannah through a Skype audition, which was probably the reason she was able to hide her thick Aussie accent in the first place. But did you know that she also auditioned for the role of Jessica Davis before she got cast as the main protagonist? 11th on our list, Selena Gomez almost played Hannah Baker. Instead of a Netflix series, 13 Reasons Why was originally supposed to be a Universal film, with Selena Gomez as its lead actor. Instead, Gomez stepped up as an executive producer for the Netflix show, but that's not the only role she played in the making of the series. Towards the end of season 1, a song by Selena was played as background music. It's called Back to You, and is probably the most haunting track in the official show soundtrack. 12th, the actor who played Zach Dempsey is 10 years older than his character. None of the cast members are young enough to be in actual high school, but Ross Butler is an exceptional case. He was 26 when they filmed the first season, although Zach was supposed to be 16 years old at the time. Interestingly, Ross is also Asian American, which is why Netflix decided to give his character an Oriental mother and sister, in addition to a Chinese middle name, Shan Yun. In Mandarin, that means virtuous essence. 13th on our list, Clay Jensen is on Google Maps. Dylan Minnette may have done a good job of swatting away paparazzi, but apparently it's not as easy to avoid Google's cameras. While filming one of his scenes as Clay, Dylan was immortalized in Google Maps after the cameras took a picture in front of a real home in San Rafael, which was used as a set location for the show. Good thing he wasn't doing anything embarrassing when the snap was taken. Number 14 on our list is Dylan Minnette never read the book before he auditioned for Clay's role. The same goes for Katherine Langford, but she did read the novel in between being cast and the first day of filming. On the other hand, Minnette wanted to completely separate the character he was playing in the show from the one conceptualized in the book, so he never read it. Not sure how Jay Asher felt about this, but he did blow his role out of the park, so no harm done there. 15th on our list, Christian Navarro learned how to drive for the show. Tony Padilla is almost never seen outside the driver's seat of the iconic red Ford Mustang. He looked so comfortable in there that it's almost impossible to believe he didn't even know how to drive before filming started. Navarro had to learn how to drive and get his license in order to drive the 1960s vehicle in the show. Number 16 on our list is Catherine had to get herself a piano to cope with the demands of her character. Navarro is not the only one who had to adjust big time for his role in 13 Reasons Why. As you well know, the show tackles a huge deal of touchy subjects, so naturally, things get a little bit intense on set. Langford had to buy a piano while staying in San Rafael just so she can play it to comfort herself in between takes. Number 17. The rest of the cast had puppies to take care of them. Filming was difficult, and not just for Catherine. Netflix made sure they had enough chance to feel cheery in between takes, so they had therapy dogs come to visit the set. There's nothing like puppies to combat the darkness of days when they had to discuss things like assault, mental illness, and more. Dylan said they all had puppies to play with whenever things would get heavy. 18th on the list, Hannah's nail polish exists in the real world. Catherine used nail polish to write on her cassette tapes, the same one she was wearing the day she decided to end her suffering. It's an actual bottle from an actual brand, and it's called Sinful Colors Endless Blue. It's only worth $2, and it's definitely not top of the line. But even Selena Gomez wore the same polish on the red carpet, along with her Oscar de la Renta gown and Rebecca de Ravenel earrings. The last one on our list is #TimIsNotMonty. Netflix and the rest of the people who worked on the series may have done everything to protect the cast members from being too affected by the show, but they just couldn't stop some avid fans from taking things a little too personally. Timothy Granaderos, the guy who plays Monty, even received death threats after his character on the show assaulted Tyler Down, which was played by Devin Druid. This prompted Druid himself and the rest of their co-stars to start the #TimIsNotMonty. Anyway, that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.